We are live. Hello.
It's Christmas.
Merry Christmas. S-E-O-O-O. Was that your joke, Hannah? Oh dear. Here we are with our final FFS of the year. I can't see a damn thing because somebody decided that Christmas glasses should be sunglasses.
We think they're Australian.
They're probably Australian, yes. They certainly weren't from Bake Up anyway. And I have got my Christmas jumper on as well. Can't see it very well, but it is a Christmas jumper. It says "Slay the Patriarchy." So okay. I've really, after I got...
Show us your jumper. Stand up.
I got roundly told off last year for not being Christmassy enough. Slay the patriarchy.
Love it. Well, I have got apples on my cardigan, so not
rubbish.
Oh, apples.
It's baubles. What a lot of baubles.
The fucking apples.
She's always spewing baubles. Anyway, we are here with our roundup of 2022. We're going to do a little bit of a roundup of Grow Traffic. I'm going to do a little bit of a roundup of SEO. So I haven't prepared you for any of this, so I hope you are both aware. So before we go into that, though, Hannah Weinhold, what's your name and where do you come from?
We're fucking 1.5 minutes in and he's already like this with his hands. My name is Hannah Weinhold and I'm from Grow Traffic.
Hey! And what have you come here to find today, Hannah Weinhold?
A peace of mind and a sense of enormous well-being.
No, we kept saying that the other day, didn't we? What does it give you a sense of? Gives me a sense of enormous well-being. And she didn't get it at all, did she? No. Bless. Oh, well, very good. Simon Daly, what's your name and where do you come from?
I'm Simon Daly and I'm also from Grow Traffic. Rachel, are you on the 5G Wi-Fi by any chance or not?
Okay, let me have a look. Here we go. Very interesting. I am on the 5G Wi-Fi, yes.
Good.
The benefit of these glasses is that I can just jab myself firmly in the eyes and long for death. Hope I bleed out before anybody finds me.
Yeah. What a bonus. Right, well, my name is Rachel Weinhold, also from Grow Traffic. And newsflash, I am on the 5G Wi-Fi. Dun, dun,
Thank
dun.
heaven. It's a Christmas miracle.
Yes.
I know, it's amazing. Anyway, right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to play a little game of what have people been searching for in 2022. So, yay. Hannah, what do you think the most searched for word in the UK was in 2022?
Word?
Yeah. Keyword.
Porn.
Either one or two words.
Porn.
No.
Oh.
Dally, what do you think it might be? In the UK specifically.
I'm just trying to think what actually happened in 2022.
It's been an eventful year. It's been an eventful COVID is not in the top 3. COVID is not even in the top 10.
Who cares?
Okay.
Cost of living.
No, sorry, I'm lying to you a bit. So there is a phrase related to COVID that is in the top 10. What do you think that might be?
Vaccination.
Close.
Vaccine.
The thing that people couldn't get hold of.
Vaccine.
Other than
lateral flow test. Oh.
Yes, lateral flow test is coming in at number 5. So that
really?
was the 5th most searched for. Yeah. What do you think another most searched for term was of this year?
Energy crisis. Energy bills.
No, energy bills is not there.
Oh, I would have guessed that. Oh, what about Liz Truss?
Oh, that's a good one.
Liz Truss is not there.
Rishi. Oh, she's frozen. Oh no!
Shall I give you a clue?
Yeah.
Good.
The top most searched for word is a game that people have been playing and posting about on Facebook.
Game that people have been playing and posting about on Facebook.
Yes,
I don't know.
Wordle.
Wordle is the top searched for term in the UK in 2022. The second most searched for term is World Cup, and the third is Queen Elizabeth. Forget about poor old Queenie.
Bloody Queenie. Yeah. Okay.
I forgot about Queenie.
Coming in at number 9 is Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
because of the
obviously-
Netflix thing.
Yeah, exactly. We're all very concerned. Nobody is caring about the cost of living crisis. We're all just watching Netflix, clearly. What do you think the most asked question of 2022 was?
Where do I get a lateral flow test from?
No.
How do I get a high score on Wordle? I don't know.
It's the other one that you didn't get.
How did the Queen die?
Close. Is the Queen dead?
So that was the most searched for term on Google, and that must have happened within about a period of about 12 hours.
Yeah, really. Yeah, absolutely.
Potentially, yeah. The second one was when is the Queen's funeral, and the third was why is Russia invading Ukraine? Who do you think the top searched for actor was?
Johnny Depp.
Yes, well done. Give the girl a coconut. Johnny Depp, absolutely.
Amber Heard.
Then Amber Heard. Amber Heard is at number 3.
Will Smith,
so she's coming in at number 3. And this is one.
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith. Yeah, get your wife's name out of your mouth, or my wife's name.
Out of your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
It sounded exactly like that.
He did. Yeah, he did. Very good impression.
Yeah, like he's from Cardiff.
Well, funny you mentioned Cardiff, actually, because what do you think the most asked question was on Google? So how many?
How do I get to Cardiff?
Is Cardiff real?
How many? What was the most? How many questions in the
People
UK?
live in Cardiff.
Close.
How many whales can you get in a mini to Cardiff?
Close. Still close.
How many men live in Cardiff?
No, I'm going to give it to you. It's how many cities are there in Wales? Why?
Yeah,
and the second.
How many cities are there in Wales? You've got Cardiff.
Oh God, it doesn't matter.
No,
this is a drinking game.
But the second most asked how many questions in 2022 was how many countries end in stan?
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, it's a good question, but if you just think this is a question for next year. How many people must have asked these questions for them to be in the how many questions top 10?
Dan, I mean, probably not many. Maybe it was a question on a TV quiz or something. Maybe it was like the $1 million question on not pointless, like what's the chaser or something.
Maybe, very maybe. But I mean, they're just random.
Very maybe. That is very maybe.
Yes.
That is so maybe.
Definitely maybe. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because when the reason I play this game when I go networking at the end of each year, and everybody has a great time and they really look forward to me going. But the reason that we play it,
enforced fun.
The reason that I play it, yay! But it shows you that what we think people will have been searching for is not what people have actually been searching for, and a lot of the time, what people have been searching for is absolutely batshit. And so, if you are a small business and you think you know what your customers are searching for, potentially you don't, because they're searching for how many countries end in stan instead.
7.
Is it? Is that the answer?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Oh, right, okay. Well, you've just added to the statistic. So next year, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, right. So that's enough. That's enough fun now. Fun is over. First question I would like to ask you both. Simon Daly, I'm coming to you first. What do you think the biggest SEO development of 2022 has been? What's the biggest SEO change that we've seen?
I'm literally, I couldn't even remember that the Queen had died or that Russia had invaded the Ukraine. I have no idea what's happened in search. My brain is fried. Let me think. What's been the biggest development in SEO in 2022? I'm just working backwards.
Ask Hannah first.
What were you saying? Might it be right? Yeah.
Go on, Hannah. What's yours then? Is this a Morecambe and Wise thing you're playing?
Oh, God, yeah.
The helpful content update.
Yeah. That's what I would have said, definitely. And why has that mattered? Why has that made a change?
Because it has it's altered the way that content needs to be created. It's altered the way that content is being indexed and the way that SERPs are returning, or not SERPs in general, Google are returning results. And it will change the way that we interact with content on the internet. As in, we will no longer like be happy to search through things to find an answer. We want the answer. And also, have you noticed that the interface of Google has changed? It's now in tiles,
and it's more colourful.
It is more colourful. Yeah,
I've noticed that. I've also noticed that they've started putting the people also ask. As you type a query in where it used to auto-complete, they've now started putting the people also ask questions as part of the auto-complete information, which just for me demonstrates how much emphasis they are putting on that, this is what people ask. These are the main questions that people ask. Question and answer, question and answer.
Question. I think what's also interesting, though, I have seen a marked decline in the quality of results I'm getting back. And I'm very much struggling to find the answers to things.
That's very interesting, because this is another thing that I want to talk about. This is something we were talking about in our team meeting a few weeks ago, isn't it? There's been a lot of talk in the SEO forums and on Twitter and amongst the SEO community about Google being dead, and about how crap the results are generally that people are seeing. And then one of the early Google employees who was involved in the launch of the algorithm came forward and said, it's not Google that's crap. Actually, it's just that there's so much shit content on the internet now that Google's doing its best, but it's having to essentially troll through a lot of crap and is inevitably returning some of it at some point. What do you both think of that?
Well, I think that is the whole point and purpose of the helpful content update, and that's why it's so big, actually, for a number of reasons. One, we should also bear in mind that they're not kind of fully rolling it all out at the same time. They've just released another bit of it as well, so we'll see it becoming more important as a ranking factor. But I've talked about this point being the content crunch, as in, we'll get to the point where Google just can't possibly afford to index all the content that's out there, and we're pretty much there. We saw it kind of happening over the last few years, where Google was crawling people's websites, but it was excluding content from the index. This update just kind of formalizes it and puts some criteria in place. But the great thing is that it's for people like us and for brands, one of the things that it's doing is combating AI generated content. And so AI generating content will be marked down. And there's a lot of SEOs out there, a lot of kind of spammy businesses out there that have used AI generated content to game the system.
Yeah.
Hand up.
Yeah. I think as well, I think it is starting to have an impact, because I don't believe that in the last 12 months, the quality of the content on the internet has got so much worse that your search results are worse. I think this is something that's happened fairly recently. And I think that kind of tracks with what Dali's saying, that they have been de-indexing or failing to index certain pages based on an algorithmic, decision as to what's quality and what's not. And I wonder if they've been de-indexing, pages that are useful. Plus, they're only they've not been indexing pages where they feel like it's additional duplicate content. So, like, for example, if you are trying to find search term plus location and you want to read about something in that location, but there's several different locations, say it's like a circus is visiting and you want to read about the circus in Doncaster, the circus in Barnsley. Well, it would only index one page. It wouldn't index all the pages of all the locations, but you actually genuinely might want to read about just the circus coming to Barnsley. And so I wonder if that kind of not indexing similar content is starting to have an impact on what's in the search results, and it's becoming less accurate.
I think the thing is, I will, Dali, I'll come to you. But I think the thing is, it was noticed, wasn't it? And if something is noticed by a lot of people at the same time, it generally indicates that was a change, a step change, not a gradual thing that suddenly happened and all of a sudden people have noticed it. And Google, we've seen this with them a few times over the last 30 years, haven't we? Where they have made a big change and everyone's gone, and then they've sort of rolled back and stepped back, but they never say, oh, maybe we got that a bit wrong. They just go, oh no, it's all you. They're massive gaslighters. They're just going, no, it's you lot. You just shit. Quietly, turn it off.
Yeah.
I was going to say as well that the thing about the helpful content update is different. I don't know. The thing about the helpful content update, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Hear me now. Yes.
Hear me now. The thing about the helpful content update that's different to most of Google's previous updates, or certainly the updates that have gone out since about 2013, is that it has a site-wide penalty.
Mm.
Am I going crazy on the screen? Am I just kind of
jumping around? You're perfectly normal, and we can hear you.
More than normal, yeah.
No problem. The photo, the video that I can see of me is just me kind of doing the same thing over and over again.
Oh, okay. No, you're perfectly.
So there's a site-wide penalty involved with the helpful content update, and the implication of that is that the link graph will be dramatically changed. So if you think about how the link graph works, it will take a bit of time to settle down and for the quality to stabilize.
Just explain what the link graph is.
Oh, so that's all the links are out there on the internet, and how they relate to each other, how they link into each other. That passes around the authority on the internet, if you want to think about it like that. And if you suddenly take a website out, say it's a website with tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands or millions of pages, suddenly you take out millions of links to other websites, or thousands, tens of thousands of links to other websites, which may decrease the authority of other pages of the websites around the internet, and therefore shifts the balance of the link graph. So once Google has properly rolled out the helpful content update and everything's stabilized a little bit, then we should see quality return.
I wonder as well if there's a little bit of delayed reaction from the spam update last year. I wonder if people have been disavowing backlinks or removing reviews and stuff that link out, that generate that map. And it's resulted in a little bit it's kind of compounded that as well. So it's not just the helpful content update; it's come on a little bit as well from the spam update last year.
Potentially.
Yeah, and they're still rolling out the spam update. So there was the one in December? Pretty sure there was.
Right.
So what do we think this is going to mean for 2023? What do we think we're going to see in terms of changes and algorithm updates and things next year?
Well, I think that Google's SpamBrain AI, which is their new thing, is going to continue to weed out some of that spam, and we're going to continue to see impacts from that. I hope that the helpful content update and the kind of follow-ups from that will continue to reduce AI content in the SERPs. We might see a smaller internet at some point.
Do you think, though? I mean, personally, I think we might just be at the start of this, and there's still a lot of chatter in the SEO community, isn't there, about AI content, and should you use it, shouldn't you use it, all the rest of it. I feel like we're probably going to spend most of the next year having that very argument whilst all of that plays out about, can Google detect it, and how useful is it, and is it going to be indexed, and people are always going to keep trying to chance their luck, aren't they, before they realize that you can't do it, doesn't work, you can't get away with it anymore.
I just don't know why people think that you can't detect it. It's so obvious. I mean, I can't remember. I was on a website the other day, and it was written by AI, and like it was like our customers of our customers do this. It like was like literally like it was written by a robot. It was obscene how bad it was.
Yeah.
And yet still people think, fuck it, it'll do. No one will be able to tell what. Like, and I mean, even if we ignore the fact that, and also SEO, like Google always says, don't worry about your SEO, just write for the reader and stuff. But if you take out, like, can Google detect it? Like a bloody human can't understand it. Like the whole point of it is redundant because.
But also, Google has spent 30 years looking at and examining and analyzing and dissecting how humans communicate. That's why it's so good now at understanding what we are talking about. And to think that it now can't detect, that the AI now can't detect what is AI written when it's spent 30 years determining what is human written. It's just for people going, oh, it'll never know. Of course it'll fucking know.
Or they don't care. They don't think about it. They think it's a cheap way to generate content. But again, what is the point of that content? Because a human is not going to be able to, read it and understand it.
Well, it's those short-term gains, isn't it? And we're back to the shysters in the SEO industry, because basically they work on the basis of, we will have a client for a short period of time. Let's get as much content on there, get their rankings up, get their money off them, and then see them on their way. When we have a client, we want that client for years to come. So if we do a shit job at the beginning, we are going to pay the price for that further down the line. Whereas, these short-term SEOs, they don't give a shit. Once that client's gone, it's somebody else's problem, isn't it? Dali, yeah?
So I think so at the moment, it depends on what's going to happen next year. So next year is going to be the release of GPT-4, which is the kind of GPT is the AI that is used to generate AI content. So GPT-4 will come out, and that will then challenge Google again, which is probably why they've announced it, why they've brought the helpful content update in now. And I noticed that GPT-4 was supposed to come out in July, I think, or August this year, and it's been pushed back to next year. And I can't help thinking that the helpful content had something to do with that.
Have you seen there's a recent graph? I don't know if it's in SEO Signals Lab or SEO Memes, but it's a graph about the GPT update and about how it basically points and says, this is where you are, everybody's panicking, and then it'll come back down and then it'll stabilize. And at the down point, everyone will say SEO is dead. And then at the end point, we'll be all back to how we were at the start point. I'll tag you both in it. I'll share
it. Which is just the typical kind of the way it's always been, I think. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and this is exactly the cycle we go through, isn't it? They bring something new out, we all go, oh my god, this is never going to work, we're all doomed, and then back to normal.
Yeah.
Any more predictions for 2023?
I think site speed, code, economy, is going to continue to be really important as Google. It's alongside the helpful content update. The internet is too expensive for Google to run, or for Google to index, because obviously Google don't run it. And so,
what? Google don't run the internet?
I can't believe it.
Phone them up and tell them I want something changing on my website. Phone Google and tell them.
I love it when people say, "Bring Google."
Yeah, phone Google and tell them I don't like that anymore. Take that off.
Yeah. So I think as they keep trying to scale down the size of the stuff, the amount of stuff that they have to index, and also as humans become more impatient, used to a faster response time, I think that continuing to build websites really lean is going to be important. And that's not to say skimp on the content, don't have enough information on that shows people like the kind of features, benefits, value of your proposition, but don't have, you know, just loads of extraneous code that you don't need put there by clunky page builders and gazillions of plugins and stuff. And build
web titles as well. I was with somebody yesterday and they were trying to show me something on a website, and there was just pop-up after pop-up after pop-up, and they were like going, "Don't get lost, go away, stop it." And in the end they just went, "I can't find it, I'm not doing it," and left it. And you're like, that's a absolutely perfect example of how not to build a website, because they were just so pissed off they left and didn't even look for the thing.
I find that news websites are really bad for that.
Yeah.
Subscribe here, read this article, do this, fill in this question.
Do you know what one of the worst is? Search Engine Journal. It's appalling for it. If you ever try to read anything on Search Engine Journal, you literally have to close down 5 things before you can read the bloody article. You're like, guys, we should know better. Stop it.
Answer the Public used to be the same as well, didn't it? There was a pop-up box that would just follow you, track your mouse, like subscribe to our course. No, fuck off.
Yeah.
I want to use my 2 free searches and be on my way.
Yeah. Okay, right. Well, that's our sort of search of 2022. And now I would like to know, please, from a Grow Traffic perspective. So, Hannah, what do you think Grow Traffic's biggest achievement of 2022 has been?
The biggest achievement of 2022, I mean, it's easy to say the awards, isn't it? But, well, I'll say the awards seeing as I'm going first. We've won lots of awards this year. I think that's been a good achievement.
Yeah, we've won 3, have we? 3 awards? 4 awards?
4, yeah. Best SEO agency in the UK. Workforce
development at our awards. We've won innovation.
Oh, we're highly commended on that.
Yeah,
that's a nice one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, good awards. And also, I think, like, just from a kind of business perspective, like, we've done some good work for some great clients, and we're starting to put more case studies on our website. So, you know, if you really want to know, go and have a look there. But like, we're getting some really good returns for some clients, reducing their PPC spend whilst increasing their sales enormously, and increasing organic growth for lots of our clients. Well, for all of our clients, actually. I don't think there's any that we're seeing a downturn. So, you know, so yeah, I think that's been a real benefit of us this year, or a real win.
Agreed. Dali?
I think that we grew the team. I'm really pleased with how we've managed to get new skills into the team. We've grown it. We've managed to keep that team at that size for quite a while now. You know, it's the biggest it's ever been. I'm really pleased that we've got, you know, all the different skills and personalities that we've got within the team.
We've got Chris now, the greatest employee Grow Traffic's ever had.
Best employee we've ever had, Dali said when we hired him. We've hired the best employee we've ever had, guys.
No, that's not what I said. I said that's the best hire I've ever made, which is completely different.
But that's what you meant. Yeah, what you meant was that. What you said was
that's what I meant. That's what I meant anyway.
Yeah.
And I meant that at that time because I'd been so I was feeling quite under the cosh by various things. So anyway, but but you know, joking aside, I think we've put a team in place now that could potentially run the business without us, or it's getting towards that, which is something that we kind of need to be working towards, which I think is good.
Yeah, well, we went on holiday and nothing collapsed, did it? So,
well, actually, no, we went on holiday and something did collapse, and so I took my I always take my laptop on holiday with me, and our data center. It was during July, and there was a heat wave in.
The data center melted, didn't it?
And the data center's coolant system failed, and all the servers were fried, and our hosting provider had to do like data recovery, emergency data recovery from Holland to London, and the team had to deal with it, work out what was going on, communicate with clients, and I never anytime had to open my laptop and that's probably the biggest win.
They are good eggs
for me.
Yeah.
Rara, what's yours?
Just that yes, we've gone through a period sort of latterly in 2022 that felt akin to the start of the pandemic, but we've put an awful lot of stuff in place since the pandemic. So we learned lessons, and the three of us have done an awful lot of training. We've done an awful lot of training and professional development and stuff with the team, and I felt like, we managed when we went through it with the pandemic. Obviously, we were a much smaller business, but we did have to make a redundancy. We had to put people on furlough. We had to really sort of make big changes to the company and the way it operated. And when we went through a very similar thing at the beginning of the recession and the cost of living crisis, we didn't do that. We'd grown as a team in terms of numbers. We'd grown as a team in terms of abilities. And I feel like we're doing business for grown-ups now, aren't we? We're actually learning how to run a business and not just be dead good at SEO, which is a whole new challenge.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
I know. I was moaning to my friend Angela about how I don't want to be a sales director because I don't know what I'm doing. All I know how to do is bullshit. And Adrian, who's a chief financial officer for a FTSE 100 company, came in and went, "That's all every sales director I've ever met knows how to do."
That's it. That's sales director.
That's it. But yeah, yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud that as a business, we are still doing things in a slow and steady and sustainable way. And I'm not going to say that there haven't been really sort of tricky and quite, nervy periods over 2022. But I feel like we've come through them in a much better position and much more ably than we did last time we went through that sort of thing. So I feel like we can weather storms.
And probably we'll go through same in 2023 and 2024 and 2025, because that's life, and that's life in an agency as well, where you have client churn and
it's the cycle of business, isn't it? This is the thing. Yeah, absolutely. Every business does it. So
in the immortal words of Bewitched, c'est la vie.
C'est la vie. Exactly. Well, there we go. That's it.
Just one quick thing to say that the company Grow Traffic Limited is now entering we've entered our, is that 6th year, or where are we up to? 17, 18. Yeah, we're through our 6th year, or into our 6th year, almost well over halfway through, and lots of businesses have failed and gone by the wayside by now. We've gone through a load of stuff. We're doing really well. We're growing, and we're I'm really excited about what's to come.
Yeah, but
anyone else exhausted?
Yeah, well, fucking knackered. I'm very much looking forward to 2 weeks off. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm tired and stressed and all the rest of it, and yeah.
I think it's interesting just that we have seen a lot of businesses come and go, and there's been a lot of businesses that I know that did things, and when they were doing it, I thought, oh, that's so sort of scary and so risky, and now they are not here, and you just kind of think, no, actually, sometimes I feel a bit like, well, why don't we hire 100 people? Why don't we go and do this? And then you think, actually, that that's why, because it just we do things in a much slow, steady wins the race. Hannah Weinhold, what is your main goal for 2023, personally or in the business?
In the business, continue to grow, secure that monthly recurring revenue. Let's smash those goals that we've got. Personally, find more balance. I think just find more work-life balance, more life and less work.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Dali.
As you all know, I will think about that over Christmas, and I'll be able to tell you our first management meeting of 2022.
Okay.
But I don't know yet. But I was listening to that silly Meghan and Harry thing, and Meghan Markle said, I was asked this on a podcast what I wanted for 2000 and whatever the next year, or what my word of the year was, and I wanted to say peace, but it wasn't peace, it was truth. Now I don't know what it means, so I'm going to say peace and truth.
Okay. Well, beauty
Yeah.
is truth and truth beauty. That is all you know and all you ever need to know.
Okay.
So, there you go.
What do you
Right,
want,
well,
Laura?
What I would like for
What do
me,
you really, really want?
what I really want for Grow Traffic, I want us to stabilize and continue to grow. And for me personally, I want to learn how to be a sales director better. So that
That's not you personally, Rara.
job. What?
That's not you personally. That's still
is,
for the
yeah.
business. What do you want for you personally?
No, that's it for me. For myself, I need to feel more confident and have less imposter syndrome about my job. That is a personal growth thing for me.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my goal for next year. So there we go.
Well, I think
Right, on that note, let's sign
Going.
off. We've only got a couple more days of work, haven't we? And we're off for 2 weeks. So Grow Traffic will be back on the 4th of January, I think. If you are watching this and you would like to leave us a comment or ask us a question, please do, because we will continue to monitor the comments. And if you are watching it on YouTube, subscribe below. And if you're listening to it as in audio format, because we are still putting it up as an FFS audio podcast, then please rate and subscribe and like and tell people and all of that other shit. And in the meantime, have a very, very lovely Christmas break, and we will see you all in
Holly jolly Christmas. It's a festive time.